And there's the header from Cavani. Oh, that was all too easy.
Welcome to the Ball Gecko Podcast.
Getting forward into the area for the first time, the cross and the goal.
The show that brings the ins and the outs of the beautiful game to African fans by passionate African voices. Ball Gecko, get in the game.
Hello and welcome to the Ball Gecko Podcast. My name is Toby. Alright, so guys, I understand that this looks different. You can see me now. That's the face behind the voice that you always hear. That deep voice on this sleeve. Alright. Okay, Ayo is here. You can also see Ayo. He's not as handsome as I am, I'm sure.
Yeah, but if you're a follower, you'd have seen me before because I was on Daily Catch Up and Toby was not.
Nobody asked you, guys.
No, I'm just saying.
Nobody asked you. And guys, I pay salary as usual, so.
Thank God the month is ending soon.
Yes, and have I ever owed you, Ayo?
I prefer not to speak.
How has your week gone?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been nice. We had the Gecko event on Monday. That was really nice. And the Euros have kept us busy as well.
All right. So, by popular demand, Rocco is here again. Okay. Let me take it one after the other. Rocco has been here before. Is one of those useless Liverpool fans. Yes, I said it.
You can't call our guest on the show useless.
I think it's just
Rocco.
bitterness.
Would you let me
me
introduce you? Because Rocco was rocking last season, but Rocco is humble now. You can see him. He has a waistcoat. He has a nice tie. But I can tell you, Rocco is hurting. Rocco, am I right?
Yeah, you have never been more wrong in your entire life, but it's nice to be back. It's good to be back, and like you guys have been clamoring for, it's good to be on video, so people can put faces to the voices.
So in case you want to beat Toby up, you know who to beat.
So
you know who to see on the road.
Calling Arsenal fans.
Yes.
And who else?
Chelsea fans.
He particularly hates Liverpool fans, and
I don't.
We are not responsible for his trauma.
I know it, but I'll be fair to say that if you look at this season, and I know this is not exactly what we're going to discuss, but if you look at this season, it's probably been successful by your standards this season.
Well, if you actually look at it like you said, considering the injuries to key players,
always an excuse.
It's a valid
one.
Because I told someone recently, Maguire got injured about 4 or 5 matches to go,
and United
won 1 out of those 5 matches.
That's correct.
That's to show you the importance of
but we will also
your
not discuss
defender.
The whole ram in the fixtures for them as well.
No, we won't, because whether ram or not, it didn't.
Whether he played 3 games in 5 days,
it didn't.
All right, so
because I mean,
and you guys listening, you must have heard someone say something like, "Football fans have amnesia." Yes, I've never forgotten that. He said that. He said you guys have amnesia. So
and then I said you have a short memory.
This is the guy that said it. His name is Rob, and he's a doctor. He's a surgeon too. I don't know what he does with his knives and what he cuts with his knife, but he cuts them right.
Let's just be thanking God for life.
We can only be thankful. So, Rob, have you been following the Euros?
Definitely. I mean, what else is there to do
with your life
than they blocked Twitter.
You get it.
So we don't have Twitter again.
Quote and unquote.
But if you have Twitter, you have Twitter. If you are in Nigeria and you are not in Nigeria,
so we just have the Euros to keep us company, and wow, what good company it has been so far.
But what have you made of the quality? And this is where I'm taking it from. We all felt that it's been a very long season since May. These guys have been playing almost every other day. Pep Guardiola has complained. Jurgen Klopp, your coach, has complained. Everyone has complained, and the complaints won't stop. The complaints won't stop because immediately after this, the fixtures of the Premier League is on now. Everyone knows who they're playing, and many said that we may not just get the best of quality, but what have you made in terms of quality for this competition?
Well, I don't think it has disappointed so far, to be very honest. And I think this particular competition has showed us a different side of football, considering the amount of injuries that we've had and then the incidents that occurred. It showed us a different side of football, and that's why we love the sport so much. It showed us the human and emotional part of football. Seeing all of that, the way it played out, it was just something.
Okay, I'll quickly ask you before I go to Ayo. Euros is being hosted in 11 cities. And then it looks also, we discussed it last week, but this is now a new turn, and people are beginning to raise a bit of eyebrow towards it that, look, let's be fair, there are 24 teams, there are 11 cities, so apparently some teams are playing away and some teams are playing at home. Isn't it an unfair advantage?
Well, I don't necessarily think so, and this is why. We have to understand the world that we are living in right now with the ongoing pandemic.
Is that not the more reason why it shouldn't have been held in 11 cities?
Well, considering logistics, movement, you have to test and retest and over-test players, and then you have to control where they are. The match that in Bucharest, that had the full stadium, it was they could do that because they have very few COVID cases, and then they had, compared to the remaining cities. So it gives us, I don't think it's unfair. I think it's just living in the times that we are. So bringing all of them, putting them in one country would have been hard, because you then would have to deal with fans, because football fans will always come. Do you understand? So having it in these cities gives us as fans a chance to be part of it. So if rather than get one host country, we get 11, the more the merrier.
All right. Ayo, what team have you been most impressed with so far? The first round of games have been played.
I think it will be Belgium, Italy. Those guys, they were really good on their day.
But they didn't have any opposition, for me.
Well, I think if we look at Italy, they did have opposition, because Turkey is not traditionally a small team. They are a very good team, and they've built their reputation.
In 2002 World Cup.
We could say that's a different generation and everything, but even
still the same coach.
Yes, same coach, but definitely different players, like Mourinho would say.
You guys don't know. You don't know. So, but I know someone who knows, but he's not here.
Let's not see.
But he's not sitting there with us. But he knows. All right.
So I think now they have different players, but they still have this mentality that it's going to be tough for you to beat us. I mean, during qualifiers, their defense was one of the best. It was one of their strongest points. They have Soyuncu from Leicester. They have Demiral. So you would expect
the same
Demiral from Juve. You expect that they'll be solid in defense, but Italy made them look like schoolboys. So for me, I think that was very, very impressive to see.
But Rocco, isn't it driving at that? Italy were at the Stadio Olimpico where they'd never lost. They were playing against a Turkey. Look, no matter what you think, like we've always said, I has written about it, the illusion of home advantage, which is where you get the fans. There's no way you're playing at the Stadio Olimpico and you don't get intimidated.
Okay, well, here's the thing though. What if the entire tournament was hosted in Italy?
If it were hosted in Italy, then
it would still be.
The
point is that it would then be an advantage for one team.
Yes.
Rather now it's an advantage for as many teams are hosting. So if Spain is hosting today, okay, you might say they have an advantage today. Tomorrow it might be someone else. But if we were hosted at one country, they would have the advantage all through.
And so really it didn't matter with France and Germany.
It didn't matter, exactly.
Like I said earlier, if rather than get one stadium, we get 11, the more the merrier.
All right, let's quickly go to the major games that we saw at the Euros, or that we've seen. The first round of games done with, and really, you guys have said you were impressed. I wasn't so impressed.
That's your business.
I was.
I've not asked you to analyze my impression and non-impression. I wasn't so impressed. I feel that the quality could have been better. But I'm happy with some of the games I've seen.
Okay, let me ask you, which match in particular stands out as the most disappointing match for you so far?
I've seen a couple. For example, the Spain game. I think that it could have been better from Spain. I think it could have been a lot better. It was a decent game.
Hold on. If you're looking at it from the angle of Spain didn't play well, they could have scored more of their opportunities. Yeah, you could say you're disappointed with Spain. But the match in general was entertaining.
But Spain didn't take the game to them at all.
Oh, no, but they had their chances as well.
Yes, they had.
And again, we have to realize that this is Spain. There's a way that Spain is going to play that. you're barely going to have chances. And Sweden still had an effort cleared off the line. So I think the game as a whole was pretty good.
Okay, so I think we've done a bit of Italy and Turkey, but let me just ask you about Italy. It's been a mess before Mancini took over, but right now Mancini is up there, 70% win rate with Italy. At the qualifiers, they blew everyone
unbeaten in 28.
Apart, yes, with the Euro game, it became 28 games. They'll be playing as well today against Wales, right? And are you
against Switzerland?
Against
Switzerland,
right? Or are you comfortable with what you've seen with Italy? Do you think that they can go all the way?
Well, Italy in recent years, since their 2006 heroics, have been at competitions, they've been largely disappointing. They seem to start and stop. That's what we know Italy for. I remember the Balotelli Italy versus England. They start and then they can turn up one match and give you 100%, and the next match they're giving you 30, and you're like, is this not the same Italy team that played very well the first match? So I think we still need to see that hoodoo of competitions wash off of them before we take them seriously. So for now, I really don't care if they beat Turkey 3-0. As if they can keep doing it, then we'll take them seriously.
Ayo, Ciro Immobile does what he does for club. For country, it looks like a fish out of water. But he scored now.
Exactly, I was about to say that.
Yes, I know, that's what I'm saying. Is it going to be a consistent thing with him?
Well, like Rocco said, we don't know how these guys do these things.
You don't know the Italy that we
You don't know the Italy that will show.
But it's Mancini. We know the Mancini that.
Yes, we know he's going to be tough on them. We know that he's going to demand that they play a certain way. We know what he wants to do. But do they have the mentality to carry out these things consistently? That's what we don't know yet. For Immobile, I think even at club level, he was a bit inconsistent this season.
Yeah, this season was just one of those seasons.
And his game against Turkey would have given him a real confidence boost. A goal, assist. He can then go on to me, for me, a weaker team in Switzerland. And then
we saw what Switzerland did. But Switzerland weren't bad against Wales.
Yeah, they weren't bad against Wales. I think they were very unlucky not to win the game.
Yeah.
But I still think that they have, in comparison with Italy, the quality that they have, squad man for man, I think the gap is a bit unfair. So I think if he can build on that momentum and have another good game, then why not?
Chip in with a goal too.
You get for my FPL.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I don't have it.
Alright, for those of you that don't know, I think there's an FPL for the Euros as well. So you guys should, and we are also coming up with an FPL for the new season. So you guys should start to lick your lips. There'll be a lot of money to be won.
Yeah.
I know my guy didn't want me to say, but I said it.
Watch out for that.
I said it. Yeah. Alright, so let's quickly do the Denmark, and I'm taking this with Rocco because something happened and
So me, I'm an illiterate.
It's not like you're an illiterate, but I don't feel you're as knowledgeable as Rocco.
No.
You studied it. You studied something related, but you are
not an insult.
Yes, because Ayo, if you check Ayo's Twitter profile, has pharmacologist when he has the time. Who says that? Yes, do you understand what I'm saying? So if I don't take medical issues to Ayo, you understand what I'm saying? So, but Rocco, you can see the way Rocco is dressed. He's just coming from the hospital. He's probably had 1 or 2 sessions with patient. He's looking good. He has money. Rocco is a big boy. So after this show, you can meet Rocco. But Rocco, something happened with Denmark, and it was with Eriksen, and we saw the unfortunate incident because I still feel that it's unfortunate. It robbed them of, it robbed the quality of that game. Yes, you would say Finland are on a fairy tale run with their first competition and then scored their first goal, and then you could. But just the celebration for Palampolo, and you could tell that it meant that it had been overshadowed by something else. But what do you make of that incident?
Well, first off, I think it was just very unfortunate that the whole world had to witness that. And it's even more unfortunate that it happened to Eriksen because he's a very likable character. I don't think there's any football fan that can.
Maybe not Tottenham fans.
Even Arsenal fans, I don't think you can hate Eriksen. He's very honest.
But before he left, they had 1 or 2 issues.
No, he never really
Even
had
that,
issues. He only had issues in terms of, okay, I think I'm coming to the end of my contract. I would like to leave, and then the club were trying to hold him hostage.
Yeah.
So he didn't really have issues.
He
He didn't really have issues with the fans.
No,
or
not with the fans.
players.
I'm saying with Levy.
Even
And that's just
Levy
one-
told
just
him
one
that
man.
he didn't want him to leave.
But the fans
there's
also
no-
didn't really want him to
Yeah, they
leave.
didn't. They didn't want him to
He's
leave.
one of their key players.
But they still recognize the fact that, okay, this guy is not. It's not like he's a bad person. He just wants to move.
He
on.
wants to move.
That's just
So
how football is.
it's when you come to the end of your time at a club, there's no, especially if you're a good and consistent enough player. No
And
one
you-
will.
I mean, he's
he has
giving them
their
a
all.
lot.
He has given
Tottenham
his
a
all
lot.
actually for Tottenham, and I feel he has taken them to where he could. I mean, getting to that Champions League final was just the pinnacle of where Tottenham could have gotten to with those squad of players. Do you understand? He gave them his all, and it was time for him to move. Initially, on seeing it, I felt it was a heat stroke because I heard the commentator complaining about the heat in the game before. So I just felt it was a heat stroke until I saw them carrying out CPR. Then I knew it was something more sinister.
But what I want to ask is, many people have said that, which is why I really want you to answer this with, so take off Rockbo and put Doctor. Is your Doctor tag there? No, it's not there.
Okay.
It's not there, it's not there.
Okay.
But many have said that, I would think they're ignorant, and that would be fair. Many have said that's probably because of the the cumulative matches these guys have played, over the strength of the matches, the quality, the competition since May, playing for a full year without break. That is why a player can collapse on the pitch. Is that correct?
No, it's not necessarily correct.
But is that the possibility?
Let me explain. This is what it is. You could have a heart defect and not know about it, or have a swell in one of the muscles of the heart. Now, those kind of conditions predispose to things like that, to having sudden cardiac arrest while exerting yourself, or having cardiac arrhythmias. In his case, he has been a player that had been at Tottenham for about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And every single year, Tottenham carries out
Medical
checks.
And then he recently
all
moved
of
clubs
them.
as well, so they would have to do an extensive
So he
medical as
moved
well.
to Italy, they would have done a medical check. Now, it's just one of those sinister cases where it went undetected, and then it led to having a
Are you
cardiac
saying there are
arrest.
no symptoms for?
Now, this is, I'm trying to lay a precedence before I give. Now, naturally, stress on the heart. If your heart is normal, in quotes, and normal functioning, that stress should not necessarily lead to a cardiac arrhythmia or cardiac arrest. Now, it is worse in people that have incipient heart conditions that they don't know about. So combine that stress with a heart condition, it can lead to cardiac arrest. But saying that stress alone is the cause is not correct. Do you understand?
All right. So let's
And
quickly
then,
talk.
and sorry to add
Okay.
to that, another thing that I noticed was that people wanted to use the Eriksen case to build into an agenda into that. And while I respect, obviously, the players, we've said it on the show, we've said it on Twitter, we've said it everywhere. These guys need to rest.
Yeah.
It's true. That's definitely the truth. But this case is a bad example of how to build that case. Because if we look at Eriksen's season last season, he barely played at the start of the season until more than half of the season.
Yeah.
I think
He wasn't exactly a key player for Inter Milan at all.
I think it was he started only 2 games in the league until the 20th match day. So it wasn't like he was playing.
Yeah, that's
as
what I'm saying. There
consistently every day,
wasn't one of those players that you
in
would
and
say
out.
if
So
Inter Milan did well.
while the idea or the reasoning as to say, oh, players need to rest is reasonable,
It's
definitely
valid.
it's valid. No one can argue with that. But this is a bad example to use to buttress that point.
All right. We wish Eriksen very, very well, and we hope that he comes out of it. I hope that he still continues to play football, because that would be it for me.
It's very, to be very realistic, it's very unlikely that he plays football ever again.
Wow. All right, let's quickly go to England and Croatia. Football has to come home at some point. Rocco, football has to come
Brazil don't play at the Euros.
I think
No,
I think
that's not the coming home we're talking about.
I think
Football has to come home.
I
Rocco.
think football has lost its way, and it can't.
But he didn't lose his way.
Football entered the wrong bus.
It can't find home.
He didn't lose his way. He didn't lose his way. No, guys. He didn't lose his way at Wembley when they played Croatia. At all.
It didn't.
At least in the first few minutes, we had already seen Phil Foden strike the bar.
Yeah, but if
They were the better
you
team
notice,
until some point.
yes, exactly. I was about to say that as the match progressed, they started to look worse, quote unquote. They started to look frustrated. They started to look flustered, while Croatia maintained their heads until the goal went in.
I felt that was a pressure from the fans for me.
For you?
Yes, I felt they were under
I don't know.
pressure to
Maybe it's
perform.
possible. I don't know. That's why I've also mentioned about the squad being the major players of the squad being a bit young in terms of mentality.
But wasn't it? I'm sorry to coach you, but wasn't it the experienced players that I had a problem with? I had a problem with Kyle Walker. I had a problem with the way Harry Kane played that game. I felt that Harry Kane didn't put himself about. I felt that Harry Kane could have combined well with these players. The only players I was impressed with were Mason Mount, Phil Foden, and Calvin Phillips, who eventually became the man of the match. And these guys are young players.
I think if you notice exactly what I was saying, the way Phil Foden and Mason Mount started the game, they were on fire. They were doing things.
Hungry.
They were hot. They were hungry. Phil Foden hit the post and everything. But as the game went on, these guys started getting quiet. Kane had a bad match. Like overall, he had a poor match. I think he was a bit confused because he eventually had to move back almost into midfield.
Yeah.
To try and link up, while Foden was one of the more forward players, Sterling as well, who eventually got the goal. I think as the tournament goes on, he would probably get better.
Yeah, he'll come into.
But the likes of Foden and Mount, I'm not sure of the same. I think it might be the opposite. Because if they're trying and they're not getting results, they might not have the head to say, okay, let's calm down. We're still going to be able to do these things. There's no rush. There's no.
But 3 points always settles everything.
3 points is 3 points. Everybody's happy. People drank beer at the pubs and everything. Everybody's happy.
Let's quickly go to my best game so far of this tournament, and that's the Netherlands against Ukraine. It may not be yours, but it was mine. Why? Because I saw a team. I've always loved Andriy Shevchenko. I never thought that he'd be a very good coach as I've seen him do with this Ukrainian team. And it's not like they have the best of players. You check that players and it's just a bunch of guys who are just playing with a lot of cohesion, with a lot of cohesion and all of that. And we saw Yarmolenko, super goal. Wherever you are, Yarmolenko. Hats off.
I think that had been the best goal of the round, if not for
Patrick Schick.
Okay, so how far do you think Ukraine can go? And let's be fair. I don't think that 3 points. Of course, you would say if you go 2 goals ahead, it probably means that you could have lost the game. But at the end of 90 minutes, they would have felt they lost points as well.
Yeah,
of course, definitely.
For Ukraine, they will feel like they lost a point.
Especially that goalkeeper. He should be freshly slapped.
They feel like they lost a point rather than lost 3. Do you understand? Because they gave a very good account of themselves.
Yeah.
They didn't start very well, but you could see the mentality that they had, that Shevchenko has instilled into the team. They came back fighting. They didn't want to lose that match.
Yes.
They in fact, they had no business losing that match, but for the keeper. So you could see the intensity of the work that Andriy has done, and big ups to him.
All right, and for Netherlands, I think I won't let Ayo talk because I will say I think that for the Netherlands, Frank de Boer will be the problem of that team. It's like Longley at Barcelona. If any team will be against that team, it will be Frank de Boer because I think they have a decent team. Let's quickly go to Spain versus Sweden, and we'll just quickly do a rush of those games. Spain, Sweden, France, Germany. For Spain versus Sweden, do you think they'll get back? Ayo.
Spain versus Sweden. I think they will find their way because I mean you can see the game.
Do you think Morata should start? I don't think Morata should start anything. Like I said on Ayo's podcast.
I don't think Morata should be in the Spanish national team.
Yes, like I said,
they don't have if we're being frank, they don't have too many better centre forwards. So it's
But
understandable.
Gerard Moreno's had a very good
Yes,
season.
yes, no, I know. I mean, like in the entire squad. I'm talking of like the entire Spain squad.
Gerard
And-
Moreno should be starting.
Yes, Moreno. No.
Up front.
You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. You said Morata shouldn't be in the squad as a whole.
Yes,
Oh,
but he's saying
No, that's an
generally.
exaggeration.
Okay, brilliant then.
All right, France, Germany. I saw a Germany that just lost that focal point. They had the combinations, they wanted to play centrally, and with what we've seen with France, they've shown that they are like Real Madrid. They are like Zidane, who always says after a game or before a game that we are here to suffer. And France have shown it now that they like to suffer. They will not suffer.
France definitely suffered against Germany. You could see their right winger Griezmann making tackles at the left back position.
A lot of times.
I mean, and they defended like their game plan, if they had one, was
Sit back, counter.
after the goal, especially after the goal. Because before the goal, okay, you could say they were moving forward, they were trying to
express
get
themselves.
exactly. But after the goal, so we have Mbappe, we have Griezmann, we have Benzema. We're going to defend and we're going to kill these guys on the counter. And that's what they tried to do. 2 offside goals.
2 offside goals, yeah.
Marginal, very marginal, some of them.
Thank God for VAR.
Thank God for VAR, exactly. Otherwise,
This
it
could have
would have
been
been
different.
3-0. And I think it would have been very unfair for Germany to have lost 3-0.
3-0.
Because they had chances.
Yeah.
They tried their best. They played. It's not like they played badly. They played well,
Yeah.
but they just couldn't convert their chances.
Another case of the German team needing a striker, because you could see that all that was left in that team was an out-and-out 9. They missed a Miroslav
That
Klose.
instinct.
Yeah, but the problem was that even when these guys got into the positions, we saw Thomas Muller. He did well to get into those 9 positions, but
It's
Gnabry
it's naturally
did
not
the
a
same.
9.
Yeah.
was
Havertz
closest to
also
scoring.
got close.
Havertz, I think a lot of people say Havertz had a bad match, but I don't think it was that bad. I think it was just a kind of match where if he had scored a goal in that match, people would have said he had a good match. He had a
match.
very good match. You
Yeah.
get? It was one of those matches where fine margins.
Margin.
Yes,
Good
exactly. The
assessment.
perception of
Yeah.
the match. Yes,
Good
exactly. The
assessment.
perception of
Yeah.
the match.
All right, fair enough, guys. That's about it from us. You can check our show on. You can check our show every day. It's the Daily Catch Up with Yagami.
Why are we not touching on Portugal? Why are you hating on
Ronaldo.
Portugal? Why are you hating on Ronaldo?
What happened?
Why are we not talking about such a phenomenal
How can
match?
someone score 11 goals at the Euros?
As in,
it's
he
unfair.
broke the record.
It's
and
unfair.
You want to
Eh?
skip him because of Barcelona ties. Why?
I've said it that this is my podcast. Nobody. What's worse, I will tell you now and I'll go and start for this to you. Do you understand? This is my podcast. And I'll probably not call Rocco because Rocco stresses me on this podcast.
People don't
Guys,
like people that tell
you
them.
guys can see how much of a stress I undergo when you hear my voice and you hear Ayo's voice. All right, Rocco, have you enjoyed the show?
Yes.
If you like, so say never enjoyed
I would have
that,
enjoyed it more if we had touched on Ronaldo and this record-breaking run,
10 seconds, talk Ronaldo.
because it is a phenomenal achievement for Ronaldo to be the highest goal scorer, not only in the Champions League, in Real Madrid's history, now in the Euros. It's mind-boggling that one player keeps and it is 36. This is his fifth
tournament.
European
He scored
tournament,
in each one.
and you want to gloss over it.
Okay, but when you score
Where's
against
the
something,
fear
you
of
can
God?
gloss over any freaking thing.
But he scored 3 goals against Spain
Okay, sir.
in one of their most important matches in a long time.
Fair enough.
He single-handedly dragged them to the final before Messi took him out.
All right, fair enough, guys. Fair enough. Ayo, I can't thank you for coming here because
You
if
must
don't-
thank me.
If you don't come, you know your salary won't be complete.
not sure for you.
You have to be thankful to me for ensuring that your salary is complete. All right, guys. So you can get on our website www.ballgecko.com. We've got very interesting stories for you to read. We have so many on the Euros. We have so many coming up as well. Okay, let me just market myself a little. I have like some stories that you'll be seeing. I have done a review of the Premier League, the La Liga, and the League One, so you guys should go check it. And on social media, I've asked you guys to go on Twitter. Unfortunately, that will not work because what has happened has happened. But you can go on Instagram at Ball Gecko and check out what we do. If you want to see the best of designs, not just the stories that we tell, the best of designs are up there. Shout out to our graphics team, shout out to our social media team.
Hi,
They do-
Kemi.
Yes, Kemi. Good stuff. That didn't come out right. Okay. All right then. If you'd like to be a guest, send us a message on Instagram and we'll get right back to you. Until next week, cheers, guys.
Ball Gecko. Get in the game.